COVID-19 exposures in schools says she's hearing from an increasing number of parents who do not trust the official communications being sent home. News 1130's Ash Kelly speaking with Kathy Marlis, who says she tracked a record-breaking 34 COVID exposures at BC schools yesterday.
Yeah, and from what she tells me, these 34 events are just the ones that she has been able to confirm with actual documentation. So something sent from a school saying COVID was here. But she tells me there are many more exposure cases she can't confirm, just coming from teachers and parents and other workers that are giving her a heads up like, hey, there's a positive test at this school, but nothing's been said publicly. And she's not publishing those numbers. So she's having trouble understanding why she's hearing about multiple people being sick and all being lumped into a single exposure notice, and asking if that means, are there actually transmissions happening in schools that aren't being communicated? Of course, we're hearing from Surrey Schools as well, which maintains that's not the case, saying of its 123 exposure events, only 3 have resulted in transmission.
We have posted more details about this story on our website, citynews1130.com. It was a big promise during the election, but now Premier John Horgan says COVID-19 relief checks, those might not be ready for a while.
If you're counting on that big check promised by the BC NDP to help you pay your Christmas bills, you'll have to wait a bit. Premier John Horgan says they're working on it, but they still have to get the new government sworn in first.
There is a timeline I have, but I might not meet it. We do hope to bring the legislature back before Christmas.
Horgan says rising COVID-19 cases have made things like swearing-in ceremonies pretty hard to put together, but he says whether it's in December or January, the NDP will fulfill its election pledge of sending struggling families up to $1,000 to help as the second wave continues. I'm Dean Rexito.
Let's talk storms now. Tropical storm Eta is squatting off western Cuba, and forecasters say it's not clear where it might strike again. It's already dumped torrential rain on Cuba and South Florida, flooding entire neighborhoods. Some Floridians are joking about having fish and crocodiles in their yards. More crocodiles in their yards. In Central America, the toll was less forgiving, with more than 100 dead, many more missing, thousands left homeless. Now the 29th named storm is powering up. Theta is swirling in the North Atlantic. Overseas, the Vatican has released a long-awaited report into how a former cardinal was able to rise in the Catholic Church despite several reports of sexual misconduct.
The Vatican investigation into ex-Cardinal of Washington, D.C., McCarrick, has found the most powerful men in the Catholic Church downplayed or dismissed reports that he slept with seminarians. It also found Pope John Paul II reversed his decision not to name him as Archbishop, but McCarrick, in a last-minute appeal, wrote a letter to Pope John Paul II saying that he had never had sexual relations with anyone, and that apparently got him the job, says Associated Press Vatican expert Nicole Winfield. Francis defrocked the now 90-year-old McCarrick last year. Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
You are just a minute away from the next check of traffic and weather together on the ones. It's 1:50.
This is News 1130. Hi, Shaman here with Hope Street Management. Would you like to be an armchair landlord from the safety of your own home? Last month, we rented 88 homes and condos for landlords just like you, safely with our virtual showing technology and health protocols. Visit hopestreet.ca to learn more or for your free online rental evaluation.
You understand your business better than anyone. And no matter what challenges and opportunities you face, you always find a way to keep moving forward. BDC understands your reality. As the bank for Canadian entrepreneurs, we provide the financing and advisory services you need to plan your path to the future. We're here for what's ahead, so you never have to look back. BDC, financing, advising, smarts.
151, we go to the traffic center in Matcop.
Well, there's a crash in South Surrey, Curtis, northbound Highway 99, just between King George Boulevard and the Serpentine River Bridge. So the vehicles are off on the shoulders, but there are crews now in the left lane for northbound 99 there. And the volume is backed up from King George to the halfway point. Once you get past that, it fully opens up, and the rest of the major routes look to be in great shape. Road work in New Westminster, that usual delay along Columbia and Brunette trying to get towards Braid because of the closure of Columbia between Sherbrooke and Keary for stormline upgrades. So expect delays for that entire stretch eastbound. And then Port Moody crew still working right along St. John's at Moray. You're back to about halfway to the Moody overpass. Shopping at Rexall has never been more rewarding with Be Well until November 20th. Get 5 times the Be Well points with your digital loaded offer. Learn more at Rexall.ca.
To the Penfolds Roofing and Solar Weather Center now, and meteorologist Michael Coos. And Michael, it's not very often in November that we find ourselves jealous of the weather in eastern Canada, but today is one of those days.
Well, it's not just been today. It's been a week where they've had temperatures out there soaring past 20 degrees. Looks like another record breaker today with temperatures in the mid-20s and a spot of humidity making it feel warmer than that, if you can believe it. Here we're 20 degrees cooler, mid-single digits with the snow coming down last evening and sticking in a lot of neighborhoods at higher elevations. It's been a pretty wild stretch, and it looks like we will be on the cold side of that jet stream again tomorrow and potentially all the way through the weekend as we head through the afternoon today. We do at least get a few sunny breaks. You're high up to no warmer than 7 degrees, dips down to -1 overnight. Now, patchy fog early, some sunny breaks in the afternoon for Remembrance Day with a high of 7 degrees. Rain returns on Thursday with a high of 8. Looks like we'll see some mountain snow. And when I say mountain snow, I'm not talking about the neighborhoods here. We're talking about 900 plus meters up, and that means the North Shore ski hills, so building up a base up there. Same story on Friday, although it's going to be wet and windy with a high of 8, and it looks like we'll see continued wet weather into the weekend, but not pouring all day on either weekend day. Currently in Langley at 6 degrees. We're at 6 as well in New Westminster. Under that cloud cover, your daytime high at 7.
Traffic and weather for Wireman Electric. Amping up quality and customer service. Trust Wireman Electric. Visit wiremanelectric.ca.
11:30 Inside Scoop.
This year, Lights of Hope has been reimagined as Hope at Home. Tune in virtually to experience the magical display lighting ceremony and community celebration on November 19th. Proceeds will support Providence Healthcare.
Get all the details at citynews1130.com.
It's 1:54. Well, it sure looks like the latest Republican bid to strike down the entire Affordable Care Act is going to fail.
In the Supreme Court's third big case on the law known as Obamacare, Republicans argue the court should find the law's mandate for obtaining health insurance unconstitutional and wipe out the whole thing. 2 conservative justices were among those appearing unwilling, with Chief Justice John Roberts noting Congress zeroed out the penalty for failing to obtain health care.
Congress left the rest of the law intact.
Trump appointee Brett Kavanaugh says recent court decisions suggest the proper remedy is to cut out the mandate and leave the rest of the act in place, a move the court's 3 liberal justices would presumably join. Sagar Magani, Washington.
And an anniversary of note on this November 10th. Ago today, the 29 sailors lost their lives on Lake Superior. 1 year later, Canadian Gordon Lightfoot immortalized the tragedy in his hit, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Lightfoot says he took information from a Newsweek article written about the tragedy, with the song reaching #1 in Canada barely a year after the coal ship went down in high seas. Classic right there. Phil Martino has your business news coming up next.
In these uncertain times, one thing is certain. The heavy rains are on the way.
So have your roof inspected by a Penfolds technical advisor. And if you need a new roof, finance with us and don't pay until next year.
PenfoldsRoofing.com. Welcome to the Flavorhood. DoorDash is like having every neighborhood in your hands, with all your local faves right at your fingertips. Get $0 delivery fees for your first month. DoorDash. Delicious, delivered. Minimum order of $10. Terms apply.
When it comes to safety, the Nissan Rogue goes all in. Intelligent emergency braking? In. Rear cross traffic alert? In. Blind spot warning? That's in too. And now, at the all-in clear-out sales event, finance a 2020 Rogue from 0% for up to 84 months. Or get up to $5,500 standard rate finance cash on other models. Plus, get a $750 winter tire credit. Visit Nissan.ca or your local dealer. Conditions apply.
It's 1:56, time for business news in the Business Center. Here's Phil Martino.
Quebec-based Medicago says it plans to move on to the next stage of clinical trials of its COVID-19 vaccine after early testing showed promising results. The company says interim results from a phase 1 trial of 100 healthy people showed they all developed a promising antibody response after 2 doses of its vaccine. It says it plans to proceed with a phase 2-3 clinical trial subject to regulatory approval. The federal government has signed a $173 million contract to secure the rights to buy 76 million doses of Medicago's plant-derived vaccine.